Hello and welcome to just one of the videos in a complete video set under the heading of Making Effective Selections in Photoshop. This video's title, as you can see with the subheading, Should we use a mouse or a pen tablet? Well, I think I can do a very quick and easy demonstration in Photoshop that may answer this question pretty graphically. Now, as you can see by the spinning round of the screen, I've opened up Photoshop, and what I've done here is just gone to File, New, and I've created a new blank canvas, 1920 pixels by 1080. From the toolbox on the left hand side, I want to select black as my foreground color. Well, that's already selected. I also want to select a standard soft edge brush, a very small brush. You can see the center circle there is quite small, right up in the top left of the screen. And from the options at the top of the screen, I'm going to be painting or drawing with the opacity set to 100% and also the flow set to 100%. And what I'm going to do to start with is to sign my name with a standard mouse. Now, my cursor's over the left hand side of the page, about halfway up. I'm going to try to do this as best as I can. I'm going to sign my name, Beckham, B-E-C-K-H. Whoops, that didn't look too good. But I'm sure if I did this a dozen times I'd get slightly better than that, but it's very childlike, isn't it? Now I've pushed the mouse aside, I've brought down my graphics tablet, my pen tablet, down into position, and you can see the cursor in more or less the same position as before, and I've got a new blank canvas. So let's have a go at signing my name with a graphics tablet. Much better. This is the control that a pen tablet allows. That's what I was able to create with my mouse, and as I said, I'm sure I'd get slightly better than that because I haven't used a mouse for quite some time. But trying to sign your name with a mouse is like trying to sign your name with a brick, whereas when we turn to a pen, even though we're working on a graphics tablet and we're signing our name quite large onto the screen, you can see there's a much better flow to the work we need to do. I've been using a graphics tablet for well over 20 years. You'll hear some people refer to them as art pads. I sometimes do that myself. If you go online and look them up, you'll find that they're referred to on the Wacom site as pen tablets. Now, I've only ever used a Wacom graphics tablet. My promotion of them is done purely as a satisfied customer. I've never had any support from Wacom at all, but they are excellent. If you've never seen a Wacom graphics tablet, well, the example you can see on screen here is as good as you're likely to get. There you can see the pad and the pen alongside it. Now, we don't need to purchase a large tablet because some of these can be quite large. Generally designed, I'm going to suggest, more for artists who like to hold it like a sketch pad and sketch. But what we need to use the art pad for, we don't want it too big. The pad itself is going to be something around 8 inches by 7. That's about 20 by 18 centimeters. But the active area within the pad, that's the area that actually controls the cursor, is going to be 6 inches by about 3.5 inches, or 15 by 10 centimeters. Now, these are just approximate sizes, but it gives you a feel for the size of the graphics tablet that we need. Let me give you just one or two tips on getting used to using a Wacom tablet like this. This photograph is pretty good. It gives you the context of how it's used, and you can see the size of the pad in relation to the guy. But it's a typical advertising picture, and I'm going to suggest your pad will probably sit to the right or the left of your keyboard, depending whether you're right or left-handed. So here's a couple of important tips to help you get used to using the graphics tablet, art pad, or pen tablet, whatever you choose to call it. First of all, it's not going to work that well if the pad starts to slide around your bench, or maybe it's in one position one day and slightly tilted the next day, and so on. So get yourself 4 little balls of that blue tack, white tack, the sort of things we put posters up on the wall with, and just make a little tiny sticky foot on the 4 corners of the pad. Put it down in a nice convenient spot, and then it will be nicely anchored and easier to use. If you've been using a mouse for many years, then when you first start using a graphics tablet, it's going to feel just a little bit unusual. So once you've got it anchored to the bench as I've suggested, you need to stay with it for a week or so, even when it does feel a little bit odd, because you'll soon get used to it. Don't be tempted to reach for your old mouse. In fact, unplug it and tuck it away in a drawer somewhere. The pen that comes with the Wacom tablet has a switch on the side, which you can clearly see in this particular picture on screen. Now you can change the functions of that rocker switch, because it rocks to the left towards the nib with what we're viewing here, and what I call the upper rocker switch, which is towards the top of the pen. Now I choose to configure my right click to that rocker switch towards the nib, and I have the other one set for a double click, and I'm referring to what we would do with a mouse, of course. So if you pick up the pen correctly, your thumb rests very nicely over this rocker switch. It's the easiest thing to then double left click, as with a mouse, as I've said, or right click. Now with the changing of the screen, you can see I've come back into Photoshop and opened up a different image. I've also selected my zoom tool from the toolbox on the left, because when we use a pen we don't have to do a physical click. All I need to do to zoom in to a part of this image is just tap my pen on the surface, and very lightly tap the pen on the surface of the graphics tablet, and my image zooms in. And I can touch the Alt key and the zoom tool reverts to a minus, and I can do the same thing again and the picture will zoom out. I'll hit Ctrl 0 to fit that on screen. Of course I can do things like just clicking and dragging and drawing a little bounding box around the area I want extremely large on screen, but of course I can use that, what I call the down rocker switch, to bring up a right click. So I've got options there too. So I can fit the image back on screen with a simple right click, and my thumb is resting nicely over that rocker switch at all times. Now coming back to my name, which I signed using the mouse, I'm not suggesting that using a graphics tablet is the only way you can make an effective selection. Many people use a mouse, but I think this particular demo is enough to indicate a tablet is very quick to use. It's certainly a lot more controllable, and once you've settled into its use, you'll never go back to a mouse. I've got 4 PCs at home here, including 1 laptop, and every one of them has a Wacom graphics tablet attached and no mouse. Even surfing the web is easier and quicker with the pen. If we look at selections in Photoshop, we see that they broadly fall into 2 categories. Those selections that we can make which are quick and simple, and those that we make which are a little more time consuming and maybe a little complex. A pen tablet is good for them all, and I've been using Wacom for the last 20 years. If you're watching my video on YouTube, take a look at the links below, where you'll find a link to the complete video set. Don't forget to look for the introduction video too. That's worth a look, even if you're not interested in selections. Also, can I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you're informed when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.